Hello, I'm Andrew. Um, Welcome back. Make this a little higher. I haven't really recorded. Oh, too high. Ooh, too high, too high, too high. My Lego plant over here is getting pulled because the wires are kind of like pushing it. Okay, that's a little better. Reorganize that. Anyway. Hello, I'm back. It's been a while. I don't think I've posted anything in like a month or two. Just off the top of my head. Yeah, so I had an experience. I've been going through stuff a couple of weeks and months, and I had an experience today that really like changed how I view things. And I just like, while it's fresh on my mind, I'd like to record it. I guess like the real reason is like I've been telling all my friends and a lot of my friends like just how crazy this was, and I keep repeating myself. So I was like, I'm gonna record it down. Just like put down everything. It's a long story. I recorded a voice message to send to a very good friend, and it was too long. It was 40 minutes. I couldn't like I just recorded it in the messages app, so I couldn't even like save it or anything. It was just it's too long, and then it wasn't letting me like clip it or anything, and like it needed to be the full thing. So I just deleted it. I was like, you know what? I lost that, but like just talking through it made me realize like this is so long, and I'm sure this video is going to be very long. So that's your context, and I'm sure I have to give more context just on this whole thing because yeah, this is gonna be a long thing. So anyway, to begin, this is largely concerning my journey with religion. For historical background, I am Taiwanese. I grew up with like a Buddhist background. My grandma on my mom's side is a Buddhist monk, so she lives nearby. We like see her pretty often. I would go to the monastery with my family to pray, chant, and like kind of learn stuff. So I'm familiar with like the stories there. I've never taken it too seriously, I guess. Like there are some concepts that have stuck with me, like karma, of course, and then reincarnation have been interesting to me because there's a lot of stories of those, and I think a fundamental part of that, not really relevant for this honestly, but like a fundamental part of it is for reincarnation, there's like levels to it. And I don't remember exact, I think there's 7 levels, but basically the idea is like everyone can become a god or Buddha by having really good karma. And you earn karma by doing good things. This is a very like simplified and poor description of this, but that's kind of like the gist of it. And then bad karma leads to like worse reincarnation. So when you die as like a human with bad karma, you might be your next life could be like a dog or something, or like a human in like a worse situation, which has a lot of implications. And I don't really want to like talk too much about it because I think today's experience is, while tied, not quite exactly tied, much more closer to Christianity, which is the religion I've been pursuing this year. So the original reason I started pursuing Christianity this year is my good friend Brandon. So I went to high school with Brandon. Korean dude, honestly kind of like mean to people back then in high school when I knew him, and then he disappeared. I asked him to walk across the graduate stage with me, and I don't even know if he replied. He just like, I'm not coming. And so I walked with someone else. I don't remember who I walked with actually, but yeah, it was supposed to be Brandon, and he reappears in my life a couple years ago, and then again much more recently last year, as he gets in Stanford. He went to the military. He was gone for 6 years and was a helicopter mechanic, and he goes through all this stuff. He doesn't tell me all this until this year, but when I met him, I think sometime last year, he just like told me he's had this big change, and I feel like it was. I think he told me it was like because of God. He like believes in God. He had this experience, and then I didn't hear the experience until earlier this year. I'm not going to share the whole thing because I can't tell it as well as he does. And it's long. That's like the original reason I started going, basically, tied with like my general personal want to be a better person from last year, carried over from last year. My eyes are so red. Okay. Um, yeah, so it kind of stems from that, and like I'm aware of the teachings of Jesus from, I took a Bible course in college. It was just like a core requirement that was available when I transferred from the engineering school to the College of Arts and Science, and it was like, I transferred late, so not a lot of courses are available, and it was like, I'm gonna just take something that fulfills the requirement so I can graduate. I took a Bible course, so I've read like, I remember reading Deuteronomy, New Testament, Old Testament. No. Like, I'm actually not convinced that the whole thing fit into one semester of coursework. But the point is, like, I didn't really understand any of it, although I've read it. I think the same thing applies to Mere Christianity, which I also read in the last couple weeks. And, like, I've read it before. I didn't understand it. Like, when I was reading it again this time, I didn't feel like I was like rereading a book the way I feel when I read, like, Stoic philosophy books. It's like I've read them before, and, like, the ideas persist. I'm aware of them. Yeah, like, can think back to them and like maybe kind of explain them to people, and like how they've kind of shaped my life. But like that feels like rereading, and I don't really. I feel more like flexible, like reading it again. But then reading Your Christianity this time around, maybe it's because of like the different life experiences I've had, but it just felt like reading a whole new book. So this experience I had, and then I'm reading. Oh, I can show you. Actually, I have it right here. Ooh, I dropped my headphones, but they're in their case. This book, If the Ocean Has a Soul, by a marine biologist, Rachel G. Jordan. Only a few chapters in, like 2 chapters in at this point. It's been a couple days, but very relatable. So that's just to like kind of give you an example of like kind of material I'm being exposed to, I'm like exposing myself to, because like I found this book on marine biology just by myself, like through a quick search. Say if I like marine biology, and it's like it seems more the ocean is where I found that I had the most like connection with nature, and I think nature is very close to God. Because that's like directly what he made, and then things like my MacBook, or like my the building I'm in, my phone that I'm recording this on. These are creations by humans, made by humans, and I feel very much like protective of, or like appreciative of like the environment, animals in the environment, like the whole ecosystem. So it's easiest to feel that in the water. And I think the kind of like examples I've given to people before is just like I like surfing. So when I'm in the water, in the ocean specifically, like the forecast, made by man, of course, is like how tall the wave's gonna be. It could be 1 foot, 2 foot, pretty low, right? And then, but sometimes, like that's what it was last weekend, and then I went, and then there were a few waves that were quite a bit bigger. I don't really know how big exactly, but they were bigger, and I've, not last weekend, but like in the past, I've had experiences where I've tried to go out in like bigger waves, and when the ocean takes you, you're not supposed to fight it. You can't fight nature. Same thing like hurricanes or floods, like all this stuff. Like wind today is something I dealt with. We'll talk more about it, but that was my previous experience. That was like the closest I really felt to God, where it's just like you can't do anything. And like I was like, if there is a God, the ocean is the closest you'll get. It's just like it's so vast. It's like unfathomable how big it is that I can like look out across the water in Santa Cruz and say like, if you go all the way over there, you'll get to Hawaii and then Taiwan. But like it looks flat from here. Like I can't see it, and like although I can see like a map and a globe and kind of like, oh, this is what it looks like, and this was actually out there, I don't have the capacity to see all that from where I am in the moment. So that was my base. And yeah, the last 2 weeks really, I've been very like pursuant in pursuing and trying to like understand and learn more about the gospel. So through going to different sermons. So I went to Joy Manhattan 2 weekends ago, and I was in New York, and it was through the invite of my good friend Hyung. She invited me, and I was able to meet a lot of people and hear a sermon by Pastor Mark, and I also met Francis, who I think was the MC, and then his wife and his daughter later at Haiti before I went to lunch. And it was a really pleasant experience. And the great thing about them, well, at first, I really enjoyed the sermon. And so, I want to like hear more. I wish I could go back. I think it's my favorite church of all that I've been to. And of course, I'm in California, so I can't go. But they record and upload their sermons on Spotify. So I've had the pleasure of just listening through them like on my way to work. I was just gonna like listen to them on Sundays because my weekends are quite packed for the next couple months, where I can't go to church. The church I want to go to starts at 11:45, and it's like that's middle of the day. I can't make that because I'm busy. I've already agreed to go to these things, but like once they're done, I will try to leave my Sundays open. But it's far off, and it's like, how do I want to learn more now, but I also don't want to like give up on the commitments I made already. So I think the podcasts are an excellent way for me to listen in, both to past sermons and also to the current ones that are being served, because they're doing it at like, I guess it'd be 7 a.m. here, and it's like it's uploaded maybe, I don't know, a couple hours later, and I can listen to it during my Sunday on like the same day later. So this benefit of time difference. And yeah, it's like Tim Keller podcast. Lauren sent me one that was very good on idolatry, and I felt so like helpless after. So it's like it's everywhere. Like all I do is almost everything I do is like centered around, probably everything I do is like centered around idolatry, and like it's hard to visualize God without putting some kind of idol up. And like is the cross an idol? I don't think so. Just like based on the specifics that Tim provided on it. But yeah, you should just watch the episode. I think it's number 369. Yeah, you'll be able to find it with that information. Tim Keller, Idolatry 369. Yeah, and it was so good. And then I was like just following that, like autoplay through Spotify and YouTube has led me to more info. So I've been going through that, but it's like I don't understand. And I've tried to ask these questions to Brandon and all the friends he's introduced me to, who are very good and like they're willing to help. But I've never quite understood, even like the friends that I already have who are Christian that I have been talking to. It's like there's just like a bit of gap that I like never quite understood. So I think the big questions I had were like, I'm learning about all these good teachings of Jesus, and I think they're good things, like love your neighbor, such and such, like be giving, generous, and I think to me it was very surprising and concerning, because like I've met a few bad Christians who were not great people in my life, or who did not do great things to me, and those really stood out to me. It's just like, you like, especially looking back at it now, or as I was going through these, it's like supposedly you've learned and like believe in God and Jesus left these teachings for you to understand, and you this is very accusatory, of course. These are my thoughts. I'm just like, how can you do this, and how can you do these bad things while continuing to claim you're Christian? Just like these are horrible. Even as a normal person without Christianity, I find these things like awful, and you're aware, like being aware makes the thing so much worse, the bad thing so much worse, as well as the good thing so much better, because you understand more deeply what you're doing, was my thought. So I was like, why aren't more Christians like good? Why aren't they trying to spread the gospel and like really be happy? That was like a huge issue for me. And then there's some other like small issues we'll get to, but yeah, that was me going into this week today. So today I went to Monterey to play, oh my gosh, like 15 minutes in. I went into Monterey to play in a volleyball tournament with my friend Bernard. And this has been scheduled for a while. I knew I was going. I didn't know my friends were going, or I was kind of aware my friends were going, that I work with. So the people from around the Bay Area. So I live like an hour and a half above Monterey, north of Monterey. And yesterday I met one of the people who's going. His name's Brian. And he's like, like maybe we should carpool out. I thought about it. I was like, yeah, we could carpool. But I also like tide pooling, as I mentioned before. Like, marine biology. So I was also thinking, like, I was also like kind of coffee, like, hey, like, by the way, I like to tide pool. I like to like goof off a little bit, you know, while we're by the beach, with the marine stuff. So I might drive separate so that I can go do that and not like hold you back and like you guys can like just go home. Is what I said, and I was really like thinking about it. I was like, yeah, I think I will. And then I don't remember when, but like I agreed to carpool sometime last night. After I spent a lot of my afternoon talking about the gospel, just like asking more questions. I was like not getting quite satisfactory answers, and I had accepted that I wouldn't get satisfactory answers on certain topics, like heaven. We don't know. No one around knows what heaven's like. Jesus knows. We don't know. And Jesus isn't here to tell me, right? It's all passed through word of mouth. It's like, and I can't conceive the idea. Like, it's unfathomable. So there's no point in, I don't think there's that much point in trying to like understand it beyond just like, it's good. It's all good. Another point I brought up was like, I feel like I don't fear death because I've been on the deathbed or just like a hospital bed where it's like I have to give in to the medication. So I have like a train out allergy, so I go into anaphylactic shock, and then I will die. I will choke and die without help. So at some point, like the antihistamines will put me to sleep, and I have to sink into that sleep and just like I might wake up, I might not, but I'm going to sleep. There's nothing I can do. Like I feel it like end. So I've been there, and through that experience, I had felt very confident saying this. Like I don't fear death. It's just gonna come, and it's like that's it. Yeah, and so that was what happened. And then today, this morning, we wake up. So we wake up very early. We're like, let's meet at Brian's house at 6:30, and then we'll head down. It's like an hour and a half to get down there. We drive south, and then we're kind of late. I think I get there at 6:28, and then we don't really leave. Like get all the stuff put in like one car and like figure out who's driving. Like we need to go to the bathroom, blah blah blah, until it's like 6:40, 6:45, and then we're like, oh, let's go get bagels. Let's go. I need to use the bathroom, I need to get gas, like, and it's just like stuff. I was like, man, you know, even in that moment, I was like, man, I could really like, I wouldn't be late because I want to be there at 8. Check-in starts at 8:15. I thought it started at 8, but I was like, I want to be there at 8. I told Bernard I'd be there at 8, and I was like, now we're not gonna be there at 8 because we're doing all this like other stuff. And I was like, I could have, if I'd driven myself, I could have been there. And oh, yeah, hold on. And then, so we go, and we get there like 8:10. We put our stuff down, and I need to go to the bathroom at this point, so I walk over to McDonald's, and I see, so Monterey has a few homeless people here and there, and I pass one on my way to the crosswalk that goes to the McDonald's to use the bathroom. And also before this, I'm asking Dane, the host for the tournament, the CBVA, and he's telling me about all the bathroom options. He's like, oh, there's a Chevron, they're doing construction over there, but the bathroom's open. There's a hotel down there. And if you go this way, there's McDonald's, there's a kayak place. And I think there's like the park bathroom. And he's just like, he takes his time explaining it to me as I like, I'm gonna pee my pants. And then he's just like explaining all this stuff. I'm like, damn, okay, it's like taking a minute. Eventually I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to McDonald's. So I walk over. And then as I get to the crosswalk, I see this guy. He's holding a walking stick. It's pretty like smooth looking, and from like a short distance, I was like, maybe he's homeless because he's got a lot of facial hair. The stick, of course, and then like just like very like drab tan looking clothes. It's got like a buffer. I didn't really notice until I got close. And I get close, or like as I'm at that distance of like maybe he's homeless, I'm also thinking like, oh, that's a nice stick. And as I get closer, I'm thinking like, should I say something? Like, do I not say something? Do I not tell him that? And I end up doing it. I end up saying it. It's like, hey, nice stick, dude. And then like, where'd you get it? And that leads into just like a short conversation. It's like, oh, he's doing the Pacific Crest Trail. I was interested in this because I've never heard of it. It goes from Mexico to Canada, and he is on this trail. And he's also going to McDonald's. Just happens to be going to McDonald's. And like, it's a very short walk. So it's like that short conversation along there. And then that's it. I like going to the bathroom. And I come out, and he's like in front of the stand. And like while I was in the bathroom, I'm thinking like, wow, it was really cool to like meet that guy and like just like hear about this trail that he's doing, and like he's kind of seems like he's having a lot of fun, like really enjoying this like journey, this trip, this trek. And I see him out like at the counter, I guess, like looking at the menu, and I've already thought like, oh, like it was really cool to like meet him. Kind of want to like ask his name and like buy him breakfast. You know, you're doing this journey. It's like it's hard. I think it's cool. I want to like buy him breakfast. McDonald's is just, I mean, right? And so I ask, and he's like, "No, I'm buying food for other people." Like, what? Like you're alone, and like who are these other people? You know, like he doesn't have a backpack. He's got a stick. It's like, oh, what other people? Like, and he says he is buying food for the homeless people he saw and talked to, and that was just so surprising to me. He was just doing it. And I think this is just like there's like something like I thought about this before, but it's like I didn't think about it recently. But it's like it is part of like there's a huge part. It's like very clearly a part of like love your neighbor and be generous, and like a lot of the other teachings, like sharing the gifts that we have with other people. And I asked him, I was like, that's so cool. I was like, can I help you? Can I like help you carry stuff? Because I think he says he's going to get 6 or 7 coffees. And in my head, I'm like, oh, like how are you gonna carry that many coffees? Like, can I help you? And like, even or like on my way, like for the rest of the day, I was like, how was he gonna do that if I didn't help him? So I asked him. I got his contact, and I asked him, and he was like, he told me that he just knew that he needed to get. He didn't know how, like, he didn't think about like how he was gonna get them to the people. He's like, I just need to know that he needed to get 8 coffees. So he did. And yeah, I just like chatted with him inside the McDonald's for a while. So I have like an hour sort of, like 45 minutes to kill at this point, because I checked in already. The games are supposed to start at like 9:15. It's like 9:25 at this point, 9:30 when we're sitting down, like waiting for his food. And he's telling me this. I'm like, can I help you? Can I do this with you, basically? And then he's like, yeah, of course. And then, so I put in I normally don't eat breakfast or like food when I'm going to play in a tournament, because like it's just like having to digest. Like, it just doesn't work for me. And then so I order food, and I order like quite a bit of stuff. I'm thinking of the guy, the homeless guy that I passed on my way to McDonald's. And originally I just got like 2 sandwiches, like sausage and cheese, because there's a BOGO deal, right? And like it's just a good deal. I get the deal normally. And then I was like, Brian mentioned hash browns this morning. Like let me grab a hash brown for him. I'm like, oh, well, if I have 1 hash brown, why don't I get another one for the homeless guy? Like I don't want one, but homeless guy. And I also see apple pies. I'm like, not for me, but who doesn't like a sweet treat? So I put 2 2 apple pies in the cart, and I check out. It's like $16. And I think in my head at this point, I had like intended to eat like one of the sandwiches, like keep one of the sandwiches at least, and probably one of the pies. But that's it. And then they all come in one bag. And he orders like 10 sandwiches and like 8 coffees and like some other stuff. I think in the hash brown, like 10 hash browns. So he was given like this kind of like set meal to everybody. And it's like 8:45 by the time we get all his food, because it takes a while. And then at this point, I've been asking him more about like his journey, and like he shared so much. And I think the first thing, it's just like everything just like made so much sense in a way that was like he was answering questions that I'd been like kind of building up throughout my experience, like listening to the sermons from Joy, from Tim Keller, explanations, or even I was even prompting Gemini to like help me explain certain concepts like predeterminism. I'd like talked about it with my friends, and like, you know, like it makes perfect sense to me because like God's all powerful. So predeterminism makes a lot of sense. So he's aware of past, present, future. But yeah, you know, I can't really explain it. I'm not very good. And then this guy just like talks through all this stuff. I'm like not really asking him that many questions. He was just talking through his journey and like explaining like how he got here. And then some people from the tournament were walking in, some people from San Francisco who I'd met before. So I'd like, oh, like what's up? It's like such so and so, and then I'm like, oh, this is my friend, and this guy's name is also Andrew. I just thought that was like the craziest thing when I was like, oh, what's your name? And he's like, Andrew. I'm like, like me too. And then I think the other part that made me feel like he was like an I don't know, like an inverse or like a really like closely related and like understandable person to me was like he said he grew up Christian and he explored some like Buddhist monasteries on his way up from Mexico. And he was like kind of looking at both, and it's like these two religions, right? Like I get they're huge, right? Like Buddhism is huge. China's a big country. There's a lot of influence. Like makes sense. And Christian, obviously, you grew up Christian. Like, but it's just like that was such a like wow. Like I'm like the reverse of that. Like I grew up Buddhist, and I'm like looking at it was that's how I felt on that small thing. But like all the other points that he was making were like just he was just talking. It wasn't like looking at me. He was just kind of like talking through like stuff. And it would just address like the questions I had. And I didn't know I had these questions, and it was ridiculous. And this whole time, I'm just sitting there like what the fuck is happening? Like that makes a lot of sense about how you're going through things. And I think like a couple of things. Like one thing that really stood out to me was like the pathless path. This idea that like, and it explains so well because he's on this physical journey. Like you're walking across a country vertically. It's a lot of physical toil, and he's explaining like. Or I think someone came in and was like, you're doing Pacific Crest Trail because we introduced, and then it was like yeah, I was like, it's not close here. It's not close at all. Like it's like 4 miles. It's like 4 hours that way from Monterey. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing here? And he explained to me, he was like, he had met someone a few days ago who like talked about a church that they'd gone to. So he went there yesterday and took photos, and then he came down. That's why he was in Monterey, and he was taking a break day, a rest day, and that's why he was going to McDonald's, and like that's why I met him. But I wouldn't have met him if I didn't carpooled with Brian and like been a little bit late, and like had to pee and like chosen McDonald's out of the 6 places that I could have peed at. Chose McDonald's. I wouldn't have met this guy. I wouldn't, and like I could have not said anything about the stick and like initiated that conversation. And this guy's telling me the same thing. He's like, oh, like I feel like I was bound to meet you. When I asked him about the coffee, he was like, he just ordered 8. I didn't even say that I would like help him at that point. And he's like, ordered 8, and then like there was no way he could have carried like they like trays are like this, and there's 4 big coffees. You can't one-hand it, and he's also carrying like bags of food. It's like it's crazy. And I think that like thinking about that when I was walking away later. It's like we gave food to the homeless people. We got their names. They were so grateful, and it was just like we can just do this, Like this isn't. There's nothing stopping us from doing this. You just buy food and give it to them. They're so grateful. Because like I've had concerns before. It's like about them giving money and then just giving the guy's hungry. And then we met Bishop and or I guess he had already met them, but like Bishop and Travis, and they were so grateful. I gave them like the food that I had, and then it was just like yeah. And it's like I've had thoughts of like giving food to homeless people before, because like in California there's a lot of homeless people that sit on they'll sit on the divider when you're driving and turn left. And I've been kind of like taught to not make eye contact, don't look at them so they don't like ask you for stuff, don't give them anything. So I ignore them most of the time, but I'm like, I'm aware, like I know they're there. It's like, it's hot out, the sun's being down, like it sucks. And I've gotten used to ignoring them, but I can just do this, like just have like a sandwich on me and just, you want a sandwich? If he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it. but I can just do that. And that was just like I've thought about it before, and I've like had the sandwich on me because we have like packaged sandwiches at work, that for people who like between meetings, and I think they just go to waste if no one takes them by the end of the week. I was like, I can just do this. So that was a thought, and then like the whole bag of like the 222 food that I had, I ended up just giving it to Travis, or not Travis, to Bishop. He just took it. I was like, oh, like in my head, I was like, oh, I didn't quite mean it for like you, but it was meant for homeless people in general. And then there were two, Travis and Bishop were together, so I was like, actually, yeah, like whatever, like it's fine. And they were just like, they were hungry. They said they hadn't eaten in days, and like, it's just like why don't more people do this, you know? And I think that made me sad, and it's like, why don't I do this? Like, why don't I do more of this? $16, like I spend that on like garbage, honestly. Like I buy so much crap, and it's like that $16 is the best $16 I've spent in my life, maybe. I just like I just gave him McDonald's. And Andrew was so considerate. He was getting like 2 ketchups, 2 sugar, 2 creams to go with like each person's coffee. And he was loaded. He's got a stick in his arms, carrying. I don't know. It's like such a good, like genuinely good person that I met this morning, and I was just so like stunned. And this whole time I'm thinking like, this is insane. Like, how did I meet this guy? Like, there's no way that's a coincidence. Because the night before I prayed again to like, hey God, like please God, like help me understand. Like I feel like I'm trying so hard to like stuff this knowledge in my brain, but it's not like clicking. I'm not understanding. As much as I can like parrot the words and like show that I listened to it, it doesn't mean I understood it. And that's also something that Andrew kind of like explained to me. It's like, it's the pathless path of just like going through it, and you follow like the little things, or like what you're. I don't even know what he said exactly. Like a little voice in his head, because like sometimes we'll go up mountains, and there's like the voice will be like, yeah, maybe don't do that. Don't do it. It's not safe. Don't do it. And he doesn't do it. And similarly, I have like felt that like little voice is like, just do it. Like, this is the choice. And that's how I decide sometimes. Or it's like, it looks like I'm spontaneous, but it's like I fully trust that, just like that's the choice. It doesn't have to be like that much like reasoning behind that particular choice, but like every once in a while, like it happens. I'll just do it. Just like I trust. And I feel like that's what happened today. It's like the decisions that led to me meeting this man. It was around carpooling, leaving at a certain time, needing to peeing at a specific McDonald's instead of the other options, which were in fact closer, and then deciding to talk to him and like ask a couple of like questions and just listen. And then I got his contact info, so I could ask him so much more even tonight when I got home. And I was just like, this changed my whole day. I feel like I was really like happy to be alive. I was like very alive, and I was happy to be alive and to share what I've been given. The other thing that really stood out to me, I think, is the last point I want to make. Just like of like money. So I work in software, I work on like GPU stuff in data centers, and I've had the thoughts, because there's a lot of like environmental stuff where it's like, that's not good, and I've had thoughts like, maybe I should quit my job. Like, this is pretty close to evil, as I see it. Like AI is being marketed to replace people, and I'm contributing to that in some capacity. So I feel I've felt guilty, but now I trust more. It's this isn't like evil money, it's just money. How I use it can be evil. And today I use it well. So, yeah, he said, Andrew said, it's easy to think of us as God's accountants. We don't own the money, or we don't own the time. It's just like our time to manage it. It passes through us. We're the vessels through like which these things come through. And like even talking to him after, he's like, the words that he shared with me are like it's like the message I need to hear now. I can't skip ahead and like force all this stuff down. Like the way I'm approaching Christianity by like listening to everything, like as much as I can, reading as much as I can. It's not gonna work. It's not just like, hey, read the Bible and you'll believe. You'll understand. And like everyone's path is different. There's no like 5-year plan or whatever. Right? It's just be open to it and then let things come. And then he dropped this last gem when we were texting just now, and he was just saying like, because I was like, oh, I really want to remember this like feeling and like awareness of like what we've discussed today and what I've realized. And he said, don't hold on to it. If it leaves, it leaves. You can't, like, don't go back. Like, it happens for a reason, and gotta accept it and like be willing to be open. And I've thought of myself as a like open-minded person because I've been told as such a couple of times. Like, I think I am, but I didn't realize I'm not really. And it's just like, yeah, just like being open to these opportunities and like letting them happen and recognizing them is not something that can be taught. It can be learned. It can't be taught. And I didn't know that. I just learned so much today. I can't even put it into words. He also said English is like probably not the best language. I think it's just like there's no human language that can like really encapsulate this kind of understanding. If there was, the Bible, like, right, this wouldn't be so hard. But at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, he dropped so many gems. It's insane. I really hope everyone gets to meet someone like this, but this was like mine. I felt like that's crazy. He's even texting. He's just telling me like he's saying stuff. I'm like asking very simple questions, and he's just answering it or like providing words that are in quotes that are just like so explanatory. Some of them I did not get, but like for the most part, everything he was saying, all the words that were put down were just like precisely what I needed to understand, what I didn't realize I needed to understand. And then it's just like, it just continued to blow my mind. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm in awe of like what's going on. It's just crazy. Yeah, and then I don't know. It just like inspired. Like I had such a good day. Just like living, being excited, all the good things, keeping my partner Bernard going. It's like having fun, being chippy with some people, not so chippy with other people, respectful. Just like I'm living. And we're sharing this wonderful day. Like, it was windy as fuck. It was not that fun to play in sometimes, but it was so good. It was just like so much fun. I met a lot of people. I got like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is like, it's just so hard to like, and I see why like my friends would say like they'll share their testimony with me later, or like they can't explain certain things to me, or like why they don't share certain things. It's like, before I was confused about like why not, but it's like not everything can be explained directly. Like, you can't just give me an answer, then like I won't necessarily understand something. He says, like Andrew said something about you know how like old wise men and like wise people in books and movies, they'll speak in riddles, and it's like if you just give the answer straight up, it doesn't really help the person. Like deciphering the riddle and like allowing time to decipher it, like just being patient, but also like the mix of like passive and active, and like living your life, and these things happen to you, and you just like recognize it. And it was just so like I don't know what I've been doing my whole life. Yeah, like oh my gosh, I was telling last thing. Earlier this year, I was telling a very good friend that I'm done. You know, like I'm happy. I live a good life, you know, by the human standard. But I was like, I'm done. I'm 25. Like, what do you mean I'm done? Like, that's how I think of it now. It's like, there's so much more to do and like see. I'm like, yeah, I did think of those things. Like, go learn the violin, go learn something else, like whatever. Like there's more to do. But those won't fulfill me in the way that like this is. It's like I didn't get it, and now I like see it. It's like, the hell, what? Yeah, I mean, like the best part is like I don't know where this ends. Like, cause I know, it's just like I know I'm on the right path now, but I don't know what's next. It's just like live, like yeah, like sure. I'll listen more. Like he sent me some books and like a YouTube channel, School After with SKOOL after. I'm looking into, but like I'm pretty overwhelmed for today. If I'm being honest, I'm just gonna watch a movie and like go to bed. But yeah, there's so much, and yeah, I haven't even like fully processed it. It's just like I just know that was like a really really special like thing that just happened, and yeah, this is great. Anyway, I'm tired, so we're gonna end here. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Later.